honestly, just don't do what I did. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna tell you what I did do that I probably wouldn't do if I had to start all over again from scratch. Who I did hire, what worked, what didn't work. Then I'm gonna tell you what I would actually do now and what I would recommend for you to do in hiring your first 3 people as a content creator. So, what I wouldn't do first. The first person I ever hired was an assistant. This is somebody that I hired with Gabe at the time we were running an agency. So this person basically handled all the little tasks that also had to be done. Now, would I do this again? No, this did not work, unfortunately. We hired somebody who wasn't interested in marketing, who wasn't interested in the field we were in. It was somebody we knew. We needed somebody to help us out. We thought that would be the perfect fix. And it wasn't. The best thing that I learned from this is actually to hire people that maybe they're not the most experienced, that's fine, but at least someone that is willing to go the extra mile and learn the industry and what's going on. And trust me, when I mean it's not about the experience, but actually the desire and the passion, I hire so many editors, and we're jumping into this because that was actually the second person that I hired. I have hired a lot of editors without even asking them for their previous work, just based on the fact of how they would answer, what they would say, how they would also react, like saying, yes, I want to do this, and thinking of this and this, and this could work for your channel. That weighs so much more than past work, in my opinion. So yes, number 2, the second person I hired was an editor. This came at a perfect moment for me. It was actually as soon as I monetized my English channel, I decided, okay, if I want to keep growing this, I need to stop editing my own videos. And I found this editing team, which honestly, they were amazing. And I'm so grateful that I had the chance to work with them because they were very experienced and they totally took my videos to another level, giving me the time to actually go back and film more and more, which allowed me to put out so many videos. In my first year on YouTube, I probably put out over 150 videos. I was just focused on idea, video. That's all I would do. So yes, great hire, but I have learned a lot along the way after working with lots of editors on what I would recommend, what I don't recommend, red flags, and things to avoid. Third person that I actually hired was a social media manager. Now, this is probably something that I would not hire for ever again. So basically, I was like, okay, I want to put out more content on my socials. I've been putting out great stuff, but I need more time if I want to actually scale this up. So I thought, social media manager would be perfect for this role. Now, this is from my perspective as a personal brand. If we're talking about a business brand, a product or service, something completely different. For a personal brand, I feel like that disconnect between the actual person managing the account, putting out the content, and being the one to actually write it out, I think that needs to be there. I think that's what creates that like ultimate touch on something like Instagram. You being the one that's like actively on stories, that can share your thoughts, that can be quick to show that, I think that has a huge advantage. Now, the problem here was that I was giving the person my thoughts, things I wanted to share, but then I had something in mind different to how they envisioned the final output. That's totally understandable. That's stuff that definitely happens all the time, and that's about communication. I know that's totally on my part too. But when I know something, and this is why, for example, my videos and my style of recording, something that's really easy for me. I don't need a script because I can put a bullet point and I can go off of that. I know what I want to say. So I was thinking I could do the same on a post by sending over that main topic idea, and that wasn't necessarily the case. Next, I hired somebody who I still work with, and this is something that I definitely think, good job, I pat on the back, I did good, and I would probably do again, was somebody to find my YouTube research tags. So that's something that from the beginning I noticed definitely created a spike in my YouTube channel doing the research, finding keywords, and finding the best way to title a video. And I found that that was taking me a lot of time. So I found somebody that could do that. I had my process down first, then I found somebody that could do that. And it basically worked out amazing, and I'm still working with that person. And then after that basically came editors and editors and more editors and thousands of editors. I probably worked with a lot of editors all over the world. Some have worked, some have definitely not worked, and I've learned a lot from it. Because I track my time, because I learned the best ways to monetize as I was growing along the way, is why I can come on here and say, hey, this is what I would do differently, because I've seen that hiring this person here would bring a lot more results, or maybe not adding in this person here would have brought me better results along the way. So here it goes. An editor as my first hire, it's staying and it will always stay. You guys have no idea the amount of time that frees up by you not handling this task that's super, super mega time intensive. If you are creating long form videos as I am, or maybe a podcast or something similar, getting somebody to help you out with that will free up so much time where you can sit there, do what only you can do, right? Because nobody else can be on camera for my own personal channel and create my own videos, right? But a lot of people can help me in the process of it, so I can sit down, create more videos, and therefore grow my personal channels, increase awareness, and all that good stuff. So staying as my number one is for sure an editor. As I mentioned, I've tried a lot, I've learned a lot. So if you do want to know my exact process, where I find them, how I find them, what I ask them, what I don't ask them, comment an orange heart down below. Second person I would hire, now knowing what I now know, is a partnership manager. This is the person that will actually work out your deals, collaborations, brand partnerships out for you. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you're like, how does that even work? When should I even do that? Check out the monetization ladder video where I walk you through the monetization steps that I would start doing as you grow your channel, because you don't have to wait to be all the way over here to start monetizing. You can definitely monetize from day one, and there's always a way. So as I would grow, as my channel would grow, this is somebody who I would hire. That is staying as my number two for sure. And number three, a YouTube manager or scripter, depending on the style of your videos. For me, I would definitely go with a YouTube manager. For other people I know that have different styles of videos, scripting definitely I would put as a top three to hire. So for example, I see it because in my own house, Gabe and I have super different videos. He scripts out word for word because he's creating videos about the best campaigns that brands have run. So he has to investigate, he has to research, and he has to basically tie it all together to deliver it. Now, my style of videos are a bit different, where I would benefit more from people finding good topics that would work in the moment with what I know, what my expertise is, and sitting down where I can bullet point really quickly and get to filming. I don't necessarily follow script word for word, but for other people, that would be super beneficial. And beneficial to the point where you hiring, you delegating, the best reward that you get from it is more time. Having more time to actually do what I mentioned, what only you can do, getting back to those things. And maybe you're at a point where you don't really understand, or you don't really know, you haven't pinpointed what that is for you. So I got my markers, we got the whiteboard, and here's a little exercise, 4 questions that I want you to ask yourself to find out what this may be for you. So here we go. Number 1, what I like and brings results. So this is that thing that only you can do, and you've seen it impact your business and brand. Number 2, what I like, but doesn't bring results. So this can be something like meetings, calls, maybe spending hours with your team, stuff like that. Number 3, what I don't like, right? Don't like, but brings results. That's number 3. And number 4, don't like and doesn't bring results, but somebody at the end of the day has to do it. This is finance, operations, all those things that for most of us is a bit tedious, but other people love. I used to work in the finance department, and the finance director, she loved Excel like no other person. And I'm an Excel lover. You guys know I've shared that I love Excel, but to the point that she loved it, I don't think I would get there. She's the type of person that I would love to delegate finance to, because she would eat up all those numbers, spend all the time like fixing and fine-tuning the finance department in that business. So you have your 4 questions, and with the answers to these 4 questions, the first 2 to look at to hire, of course, number 1, don't like and doesn't bring results. This is the perfect thing to delegate. And number 2, do like but doesn't bring results. This is something that, yeah, you might love it, but if it's taking so much time and you're not really bringing results, that's something that maybe you should start delegating. Then what I would go to next is actually something that you don't like but does bring results. This is something really cool to look at, because most of the time you'll notice that it's something pretty essential to the business, where most of the time you might be the only one that can actually carry out that task, but people can help you along the way to make that task a lot easier. That's personally what I found in those situations, and this is something that I go back at literally all the time when I'm deciding, okay, who should I add on for this project, or what can I switch around in my team, who do I really need, and what can be the most impactful at the end of the day. So let me know how it goes. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because that is the best way for you to be notified every week on the new video. And of course, as always, I'll see you right back here on this same exact channel next time. Bye bye.